Hey guys, it's Gabriella, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to retain choreography faster as a dancer. Tip number 1 is listening to all different types of music. Become familiar with different genres because it will help you connect your moves faster with the music when learning a dance. Because you have an understanding of the rhythm and the beat to the music, it will be easier to comprehend other moves because you know how it connects to the music. So start listening to different types of music like 90s, like different time periods, 80s, 70s, 60s, etc. Listen to popping music, listen to house music, light feet, Afro, Latin, pop, R&B, hip hop. Like listen to everything. So when it comes to actually learning a dance, you're familiar with the rhythm and you're familiar with the beat, and it's so much easier to connect moves, especially moves that you've never tried or, felt in your body before that you're just trying there for the first time in class. It will help you when they say, okay, let's do it with the music. It will be so much easier to connect with the music because you understand what kind of style it is. So if the teacher says, all right, guys, we're doing a Latin, you kind of understand how Latin music goes and the rhythm of Latin. Or if they said, okay, we're doing light feet. Light feet is like a whole different style. So if you're not familiar with the type of beat that it has, then it's going to be harder to put moves and connect it to the music, especially connect with the music and then add dynamics and then add textures, etc. Tip number 2 is don't mark, or at least just don't mark your arms. Have it become muscle memory in your body. Your body will do its job when it comes to running the dance full out if you put in the work from the beginning. So basically, if from the beginning of class, you're putting it in your body and you're not just like marking it, whatever, your body is going to know it by the time. You have to just trust yourself because your body will know it if you're putting in that work from the beginning. You might have, you might forget a thing or two, but that's just, practice. But if you're marking it the entire class, you're not giving your body a chance to actually know it or do it full out, because when you actually do it full out, marking it and doing it full out is completely different. So if you're going to, give at least 50% in class, or everyone always says, don't mark your arms when learning a thing. Just don't mark your arms. So yeah, this tip is either don't mark it all of class, or at least, give 50%, or just don't mark your arms at least. Tip number 3, this is actually something my dance teachers mentioned, and I'm not going to explain it as good as he did. So shout out to KP. So when thinking of like connections and like how different moves connect with each other in a dance, you play with, obviously, you play with your textures and you play with your dynamics after you already know the choreo, right? But my teacher would always say something about fire, rain, and like water, and I don't know, you have to, if you know kind of thing. So it's like fire is like a different kind of texture. Or if there's a certain move that reminds you of water, like smooth, fluid, like connect it with that and try to think of things that will help you create different types of textures and dances and different moves, if that makes sense. So like fire, water, rain, if you know what I'm trying to say. So it's like fire might be like something like, or like water is more of a like fluid kind of, like think of something that will help you connect something to a texture, if that makes sense. So that could be your own thing, you can make that up. But like, if you know what I'm talking about, it might help you. If it doesn't help you, I'm sorry. But like, if you think of something that will help you when learning a piece of how to create different textures, or maybe you just, you're good at creating different textures on the top of your head, but like sometimes people need something to connect to. So try to think of something to connect to when it comes to dynamics, because it might be easier for you to, mess around with that and play around with that during class. Is this tip number 4 or tip number 3? Whatever. Next tip, is if you have a chance, study the choreographer, because if you study the choreographer, especially before auditions, you can understand how they move and how they choreograph, and it will be much easier when you're in the class because you're not like surprised about what's coming. You'll kind of know what to expect. Like when I take a class, I'm like, oh, I'm taking like Charles's class, or I'm taking like Rachel's class, and I already know what to expect because I have done my research, or I've taken their classes. There's like a huge bug outside. I'm like, this is like the window of my backyard, but it's like a huge bee. But anyway, and now there's 2. But anyway, what was I saying? Study the choreographer, have a, oh my God, I'm sorry. There's like a bee running in circles, like right behind my window. So it's like, okay. Anyway, study the choreographer, become familiar with their type of movement, with their type of style, and it will actually really help you during class, especially if you're doing an audition. study the choreographer. Especially if they tell you, study the choreographer. Look at their Instagram, look at their page, look at their videos, and like really understand how they move and like what type of moves they like and what styles and music they like. Like some teachers really have like their own style, like Miles Keeney. I know as soon as I hear Miles Keeney, I'm like jazz funk. Like I know his moves. Like I take his classes all the time. Like I love him. I love his choreography. But like certain choreographers are gonna have certain like certain types of moves and certain type of ways that they like their movement wise. Next tip is to train your body to keep up with your mind. That means like, when I was first starting out as a dancer, I learned a lot of things along the way. So when you get out of a class, don't just reflect on the good things that happen. Always reflect on what you could have worked on or why something didn't go the way it should have. Because sometimes the thing is, you can pick up choreography really fast, but your body doesn't have the stamina to last you through an hour and a half class or a 2-hour audition. So when your body gets tired, even if you know the choreography, you're starting to forget things because your body is just like tired. You're just done. You have no stamina. Your body's not up to like that cardio level to actually do all of that at once. And then sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you have great stamina. You work out all the time. Your body is in great health, but like your mind is not trained to pick up choreography that quickly. And that just comes with practice. That comes with taking classes all the time. It's all practice. But reflect on what you could have done better or why things didn't go the way it should have. Like if you take a class and you're like, oh man, I had that, but like, I don't know. My body gave up on me. And that happens a lot. Like if you're just not up to it, then you have to train your legs or you have to train cardio or just take more classes and train in that style. And don't just train in one style. Train in all different types of styles, because if you train in all different types of styles, you become more versatile. Your body is like becoming more like familiar with different types of movement, and it will just help the process of you like accelerating as a dancer even faster. Last tip, which is basically what I just said, take class, train. Don't just take classes just to take classes. Take classes with a purpose. So if you're going into a class, be like, all right, this class, we're going to work on details. This class, dynamics. This class, I just want to like go full out. I want to work on my stamina. Like have a purpose in the class. And, maybe it's like, oh, I want to like get called out in a group, or I want to like, I want to get noticed. Like things like, after you get like to a certain point, sometimes your goal is to like get called out or do this and do that. And each dancer has different goals. I have different goals than you might have. And we even might have the same goals. And that's a lot of the time. Everyone wants to get called out. Everyone wants to do great. That's great. Everyone wants to do great. But, have an intention when you're going into class or even an audition. And so, yeah, basically just train, take classes, research. Do what you have to make it out there, because everyone's trying to do the same thing, but you got to be the one to do more work than the next person, because if you're not, then everyone's just here. But if you're doing more work, then you're here. I know it sounds self-explanatory, but yeah, just train, guys. Just train. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. If you guys want to see more videos or have videos that you guys want me to make, comment that down below or reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram is gabrielle.augusto. If you ever have any questions, comment down, because I'll respond to you guys as fast as I can or as soon as I see the message, and I will answer in depth as well too. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Like I said, if you ever have any questions, either comment that down below or reach out to me on Instagram, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys like this video.